What's up, everybody? It's me, E-Man, from E-Man's Movie Reviews. Black Panther was a cultural phenomenon in the world of film, and the impact of the movie was felt all across the world. After the tragic passing of lead actor Chadwick Boseman, fans were left with an incredibly heavy heart when the news dropped. Only a few months later, Marvel Studios made the decision that Boseman's portrayal of the character transcended any iteration of the role, and therefore they would not recast the role of T'Challa. However, over time, more and more people have started to come around to the recast T'Challa movement that's been picking up steam. Even Chadwick Boseman's own brother has come out in full support of the cause. If you're unfamiliar with the campaign, it isn't calling for an immediate recast, nor is it preventing any other black characters from taking up the mantle. It's simply asking for Marvel Studios not to use Chadwick Boseman's passing as a plot device and permanently kill off the character of T'Challa yet again. But is any of that even possible? I mean, could Marvel actually go back against their own word? Well, that's why I wanted to introduce to you all the Blip Theory, because I think it's actually one of the best compromises for this troubling situation. So let me give you the basic premise for this Blip Theory. Essentially, all it's doing is taking the Black Panther sequel and having the events take place before the blip and maybe a little bit after. The goal of this theory is just to illustrate how it's possible to tell a meaningful story about Wakanda, elevate the current characters without T'Challa, and avoid having to kill the character off for a third time. So, let me walk you through this blip theory.
They called it the blip.
After Thanos performed his snap, the world was devastated as billions of people were dusted away. While people were vanishing, the entire world was trying to make sense of what happened. None were more shaken than the country of Wakanda, who lost both their king and princess. Or did they? Okoye saw her king T'Challa turn to dust right in front of her eyes. However, what happened to Shuri? Well, what if I told you that Shuri probably didn't get dusted at all?
Nah.
And I know some people are probably going to want to challenge and say like, well, Marvel confirmed that she got dusted. Look, they even gave us that gray picture and everything. Well, I'd like to challenge that by giving you a couple points to think about. 1, we never actually saw her get turned to dust. 2, she was only reported to be missing. And 3, look at Scott Lang, who also believed to be dusted, but we knew that he was stuck in the quantum realm instead. So all I'm saying is that there's more than enough wiggle room for Marvel to play out the notion that Shuri wasn't actually dusted. So let's kind of run with that for the sake of the blip theory. What if after the snap, Wakanda enacted emergency protocols to hide the royal family as soon as people started disappearing? Let's recall that Wakanda has been able to keep their entire existence a secret from the world for centuries, so it's not hard to imagine that they could do the same for their royal family. Now, once Okoye returns back to Wakanda and gives word that King T'Challa is dead, Wakanda as a whole would more than likely mourn his loss. This 5-year gap would be the perfect time to sensibly depict a mourning country for their king, seeing as though he was dead in the story. Shuri and the Queen Mother would not only mourn for T'Challa, but also for half of the other citizens of Wakanda that were snapped away. A grand funeral would take place and monuments made in T'Challa's memory. At this time, even opposing leaders like M'Baku would also show up to mourn the loss of T'Challa. Without the king, Wakanda would have to adapt. The Queen Mother would more than likely take over as ruler of Wakanda. She would gather the grieving tribes together and unite them all under the name of the fallen T'Challa, who was lost fighting to save the world. Meanwhile, a disturbance on the coast of Africa causes a new threat to appear. Because of Thanos' snap, another secret nation under the sea would come to the surface world due to the disappearance of half of their people. Led by their king, Namor, the Kingdom of Atlantis could first make contact with the people of Wakanda and demand answers for what happened. Queen Ramonda would engage in talks with Namor, explaining that the Wakandans had nothing to do with the disappearance of the Atlantean people. Despite that, a rogue group of Atlantean soldiers who still blame the surface world for their losses could go back and attack Wakanda. They assassinate several Wakandans and leave Queen Ramonda in a coma. The tribes of Wakanda are enraged and seek out war against Namor and Atlantis. With the Queen Mother out of commission, Shuri would be next in line to assume the position of Queen of Wakanda. The problem, though, is that Shuri doesn't want that responsibility of being queen. She doesn't feel ready, but she still wants to help. With the injury to the queen, M'Baku offers to lead Wakanda. Putting his past differences aside, he tells Shuri that he will lead Wakanda in the Queen Mother's absence and to honor King T'Challa. When Shuri is ready to take the throne, the crown will be hers. With M'Baku as the new ruler, Wakanda has rescinded their open invitation and open borders as it becomes more limited with what they share with the rest of the world. However, in honor of King T'Challa's wishes to open up Wakanda, Shuri still maintains the science and social outreach programs that her brother started. As time goes by, the Queen Mother has yet to wake up from her coma. Shuri, in the meantime, has been consumed with anger against the attack from Atlantis. With T'Challa gone, Wakanda doesn't have a protector anymore in the Black Panther. So she's taken the remains of Killmonger's dead body and used his blood to synthesize a replica of the heart-shaped herb. As Wakanda regrows the herb, Shuri continues to develop new vibranium weapons and armor for the country to fight against the Atlanteans. Doing some research, Shuri learns that there's a bright student named Riri Williams who has developed groundbreaking underwater technology. Shuri travels with the Dora Milaje to meet with Riri. After forming a new friendship, Shuri is able to incorporate Riri's technology with her own Wakandan inventions to lead an attack against Atlantis. M'Baku has sent out Wakandan spies to scout out the city of Atlantis. With new information, war strategies are now created along with Shuri's new weapons and armor for the Wakandan armies to attack the underwater city. Driven by anger, Shuri undergoes months of fight training under Okoye's supervision. She wants to personally lead the battle against Namor to get revenge for her mother and Wakanda. Despite M'Baku's warnings, he respects her desire to defend the honor of her family and Wakanda. Shuri leads a secret mission to attack Atlantis, and they successfully destroy much of the city. Returning back to Wakanda, Shuri is celebrated for her bravery and leadership by the people, and they all urge for her to become the new protector of Wakanda. The Wakandan tribe leaders convene, and they give their consent to allow Shuri to become the new Black Panther. She takes the newly grown heart-shaped herb. During a vision, Shuri is visited by her own brother T'Challa in the form of a panther, and he warns her not to let revenge consume her in the future. Despite the celebration on the surface world, the world of Atlantis is enraged. Namor is ready to go to war. Wakanda and Atlantis fight it out both on land and in the sea. Both sides are left with countless injuries. Shuri gains the upper hand on Namor and is about to land a killing blow when Queen Ramonda shows up on the battlefield having awakened from her coma. She urges Shuri to stop and prevents her from killing Namor. She gives the two an impassioned speech about how both worlds have already suffered enough loss. War is the last thing they should be engaging in at this time, while half of the world has already disappeared. She also reminded Shuri of the vital lesson her fallen brother learned about vengeance and not having it consume her. The two sides decide to end the war and call a truce. With the battle now over, true to his word, M'Baku gives the throne back to Queen Ramonda. However, the Queen Mother believes that Shuri is now ready to lead Wakanda. She makes Shuri the new queen of the country. During the next couple of years, Shuri continues to rule Wakanda with her mother at her side and the full support of the neighboring tribes. At this point, I think it would be appropriate for Marvel to end the film and maybe play the tribute video that they made for Chadwick Boseman. If we wanted to throw in a post-credit scene, we could fast forward to the year 2023. We could also see how Queen Shuri has negotiated a truce with Atlantis and Wakanda would agree to keep the Atlanteans' existence a secret from the rest of the world. And as we know, Wakandans have a very long history of keeping secrets, so even a small little earthquake underwater can easily be dismissed by them as not being a big deal. Now, let's just say if Marvel was actually ready to give us a variant T'Challa, then they could probably throw a second post-credit scene into the mix. Similar to the events of Venom 2 and Spider-Man No Way Home, we could see the consequences of whatever happens in the Doctor Strange sequel maybe affect the Black Panther Wakanda Forever movie. For all we know, part of the madness that happens with the multiverse is a mass swapping of people from different realities. This could bring about the arrival of a variant T'Challa being swapped and brought into our universe. And that's the blip theory. I personally think that it's a perfect way to really explain that 5-year gap that has yet to be explained in the MCU. I mean, we really don't know what happened during those 5 years before Hulk brought everyone back. Now, I am not saying that Marvel has to go this route and use this story, and I am definitely not saying that I'm the guy that has all the answers. I'm only saying that they do have options, and this is just one of many. I kind of want to address something that I'm pretty sure some people out there are thinking, which is Marvel has already wrapped production on Black Panther 2. And according to some people, Marvel would have to start all the way from scratch if they decided to recast. Well, let me kind of prove to you how that's not actually the case, and there's a long history proving that. Based on just a mere rumor, Marvel changed the entire story of the Hulk from Age of Ultron. During production, they not only moved up the scheduling to shoot Spider-Man No Way Home to an earlier date, but they also changed the entire plot of the movie too. Again, that was while production was happening. Now, if you were thinking post-production is a different story, then think again. Even Thor Love and Thunder director Taika Waititi has said straight up that Marvel continues to write even in post-production. You also have WandaVision, where they cut out Doctor Strange from the entire series in post-production. Even with this Black Panther 2 movie, they've changed the script multiple times already and postponed production twice. If you wanted even more evidence, when another unexpected situation happened with actress Letitia Wright getting injured, Marvel shifted their entire 2022 movie schedule back by months to adjust. So while it is true that, scheduling conflicts can happen and increased costs can occur, they're a billion-dollar company that tells stories of pure fiction. They can literally do whatever they want to do. Besides, like I said, this blip theory is designed in a way that would not cause Marvel Studios to have to start from scratch or anything like that. But like I said before, this theory is really just meant to be more of a compromise. It can be a reasonable and believable story which accommodates the lack of T'Challa's presence. In my opinion, it wouldn't exploit the passing of Chadwick Boseman as coming off as a forced narrative plot device. It would give the cast members their opportunity to grieve and celebrate the passing of their friend. And more importantly, it would leave the door open for Marvel to eventually continue the portrayal of T'Challa sometime in the future. And look, I'm definitely not saying I'm as creative as Ryan Coogler. I think that guy is a genius. But for a lot of people out there that just can't imagine any other story besides killing T'Challa again, I'm just trying to let you all know that there are other possibilities, and this is just one of them. If a regular guy like me can come up with just one example like the blip theory, I'm pretty sure everyone out there, including yourself, can come up with other ways that don't necessarily need and necessitate the killing of T'Challa again. Let's be very honest here. You got magic, time travel, a multiverse, variants. You got options. Let me know your thoughts and theories and any other ideas you might have and how Marvel could proceed with the Black Panther franchise. Anyway, thank you all so much for taking the time to watch my video. I really do appreciate it. If you're new here and you like what you see, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell so you don't miss out the next time I drop a video. I've got more videos and reviews to do for you all, and until next time, I'll see you all later.